Story 1. I have become more isolated. My company went remote when COVID-19 hit. Since then, they have sublet the office space we were in, so we have been 100% remote ever since. I have become really comfortable not being in contact with other people. Perhaps too comfortable, I think sometimes. Story 2. I lost both parents 4 years apart. Got diagnosed with a learning disability that served as a roadblock for years. Moved away from the state where I lived for 31 years. Got a dream job where people like what I bring to the table and appreciate my skills, and my ability to handle life has grown significantly. 2019 couldn't compare to 2024 me. Story 3. In 2020, I was a 23-year-old college dropout without a plan other than to hopefully save up enough working at Guitar Center to move out of my folks' basement. No dreams, just kicking it from day to day. Yesterday, I graduated cum laude in accounting. I don't have a job yet, so I'm just a bartender right now, but I'm full of hope. I proved to myself that I could face my fears and flaws and push past them. Most of all, I'm proud of what I've done. I didn't have that back then. Story 4. From 2020 to 2024, I learned to take things slower and appreciate the small moments. Before, I was always rushing, but the world slowing down taught me the value of patience and self-care. I am definitely more introspective and a lot less about the hustle, and more about making meaningful connections and contributions. Story 5. I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder and got it treated effectively and appropriately. My wife did the same. We stopped using drugs and gained the 25 pounds I was missing. We paid off $11,000 in mania debt, saved $10,000, I got a job paying $50,000 per year more, moved out of an RV and into an apartment, and now we are applying to buy a house. Wow, I haven't put it all down in one place like that before. That feels good. Story 6. I worked as a frontline professional during COVID-19 in Brazil. Seeing young people my age dying really affected me. Today, I live in the present, without depression or anxiety. I got to know the best and worst of human beings. I saw professionals doing everything for patients and politicians delaying vaccination, among many other things. Story 7. I had to perform cardiopulmonary resuscitation on my 4-week-old baby girl back in 2022. She's alive and well, but it really changed me a lot. I stopped caring about trivial stuff and am only focusing now on what's really important, my family. Story 8. Been in public health for nearly 2 decades. We were always treated like we were worthless. When the pandemic hit, for a second I thought people saw our value not only in public health but science. Those were the golden years, as now, with the incoming administration and anti-intellectualism, we are so messed up. What has changed? I have lost all hope. Edit. Golden years pre-COVID. Story 9. In 2020, I had the barrel of an assault rifle against the roof of my mouth. I inserted the magazine but never charged the gun, so when I pulled the trigger, nothing happened. I had an overwhelming sense of joy that I didn't just make the biggest mistake I ever could have, due to severe depression and an overall loss of motivation. Fast forward to 2024, where I am living in another state, now one of the best employees at my company, with a house, a very loving girlfriend, and enough money not to worry about. In 4 years, I went from almost dead to enjoying life. Story 10. Stopped doing lots of drugs and drinking often. Became way more mature in terms of relationships, which allowed me to find the love of my life whom I will soon marry. Became marginally more budget conscious, and I'm spending way less on stupid things. I'm more confident overall. There are still many things left to iron out, like getting angry over the dumbest things, but I am working on it. Story 11. In 2020, I was living with my ex in a tiny, dingy town with no family or friends. My ex was a police officer, so he was only home half the time and asleep when he was. I was working as a brand new teacher and working on my master's degree. I was struggling mentally as my grandmother passed away in late 2019, and I was going through a difficult custody battle. I felt broken, depressed, and defeated. By 2024, I had moved back home in 2021. I have owned my house for 3 years and have been 5 years into my career. I own my car, won my custody battle with a 50-50 agreement, and am planning my wedding with my absolutely wonderful fiancé who has worked so hard with me to help fix my mental health. I am healing, happy, and healthy. Story 12, definitely. I had a severe midlife crisis 2 to 3 years back, but got back on track. I got back into working out, lost over 50 pounds, and got pretty fit. My wife and I also took some marriage counseling and get along with each other much better than during that crisis. Story 13. I tell people the lockdown in 2020 is the only reason I'm still a teacher. In March of 2020, I was on the verge of burning out. Then the lockdown happened, and I took the time between March and August to really think about teaching and what I needed to do to continue and even what my options were. With some truly terrible events while we were in a hybrid mode, I'm a very different teacher. Before the lockdown, I came in early, left late, worried, stressed, and drove myself half mad giving 110%. Now, that kid who doesn't want to work, that parent who thinks they can scream at me, that administration who thinks they can demand certain things in my room, I shrug and walk away. I do my job, then go home to my real life. 70% is still passing, and it gives the same results. Story 14. I got a master's degree and I'm in a career position as an epidemiologist. I met my soon-to-be fiancé, got another dog, and we are planning to look for a house in 2025. I've got my mental health under control. Life is really great. The biggest change is that I'm more optimistic about my future and the life my soon-to-be fiancé and I will build. I'm more grateful to and genuinely happy. Bouts of depression are minor, and my anxiety is basically gone. Story 15. Beginning in 2020, I was working a job I loved, but it was tiring me out. I was much more social because of my job and also happier and more cheerful in a way. Then I started studying, became more ambitious, and more serious. Now, I want to bring some of that openness and happiness back into my life. Story 16. Sadder, more depressed. More lost than ever, less hope than ever, way less money. I need a lot of stuff, I need to catch up on a lot. I don't have a job right now and I am extremely anxious. Don't know what to do, but no energy to try and figure it out. I have no motivation whatsoever. A slew of mental and physical health challenges. Abandoned twice by everyone in my life in that time frame. Feel like a background character more than ever. Just watching life pass me by. Relationship is not doing well at all right now. Turns out living is way less fun when you don't have anyone to do it with. Went to court in 2023 for my mom's death in 2015, and all I got out of it was renewed post-traumatic stress disorder from reliving it again. I feel like nothing matters and there's no point in trying because every time I do, it blows up in my face. My life basically fell apart after my mom died, and I just don't see anything getting better. Doesn't help that this is the 10th holiday season without her, and it's hard to see everyone celebrating with friends and family when you don't have any. It's hard to see good things happening to everyone else when you feel like you have nothing to live for. I feel empty. I'm happy for those who seem to be having a good time, and I recognize that this isn't how everyone feels. I am very tired. I want to try to make major improvements in 2025, but it still feels pretty futile and makes it hard to care. Very soon, I want to sign up to volunteer at an animal shelter, as animals are really the only part of life that makes me happy at this time. I'm trying and slowly doing small things to give my life some substance, but it is difficult. Edit. I did quit smoking cigarettes and I don't drink much anymore. Brushed my teeth every day this year, which is a bit pathetic, but small steps, I guess. Story 17. I was a homeless methamphetamine and heroin addict around 2018. The pandemic kicked off a chain of events that got me off the streets. I got off the drugs, found a place to live, started bodybuilding, and began a new job. I became a top performer at my job and grew healthier. I am up about 30 pounds and $30,000 compared to where I was. Story 18. I have successfully learned how to create boundaries and maintain them. I've lost at least 40 pounds, I lost my mom, and I've become handicapped. But I'm happier than I've ever been in my life, except for missing my mama, which is a constant pain. Story 19. I see people for what they really are. I have very little time or patience for nonsense. I am angry. I do not go out of my way to do things for others that they would not do for me anymore. I am no longer a people pleaser. Story 20. The biggest thing is probably that I'm way more cynical and less trusting of others' intentions, whether in business or romantic settings or anything in between. There was very much a sense of forget all of you in those years, person by person. I don't even think it'd be a stretch to say I've been straight up radicalized at this point, and with that, my life feels like it has a purpose and has meaning for the first time ever. I guess I'm just a bitter old lady now. Damaged goods, beyond resuscitation, no longer desirable for my personality, all that stuff. Better to be bitter than taken advantage of. Story 21. I grew up, but in the worst way possible, I fear. People have betrayed me so much. I learned that you can never trust someone, never look up to someone, and love is not like fairy tales. It is heartbreak. Yet, I have matured and gained wisdom so that I can choose people more wisely. But at this point, I don't like people. I have my partner and a couple of close friends, and that's it. I've learned the importance of quality, not quantity. Story 22. 16 to 20 have been the longest 4 years I have ever been through. I feel like I have aged 20 years and lived a millennium. I have enough wisdom for 12 lifetimes. Even 18-year-olds seem like kids to me. Story 23. In 2020, my dad died, and my girlfriend of 7 years left me, having cheated first, for a couch-surfing burnout with 4 kids. I am married now. I would like to say I'm happy, but I don't know if I even feel that emotion anymore. I think 2020 permanently damaged my mental health. My wife is very happy as far as I can tell, so I try to keep that up, but every day for me is kind of just gray and exhausting. Story 24. My faith in the general public is completely dead. I wouldn't say I am paranoid about people, but I am much more wary of them. Also, unless I feel like you are a decent and respectful person, I refuse to associate with anyone on a personal level. I don't want or need more friends, and I don't care about people knowing me beyond the shallowest surface information. It's just not worth it anymore or beneficial unless I really connect with someone over the course of months. Story 25. Many went from abusing substances with friends to being a reclusive young adult not in education, employment, or training for months. Learning I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder, I am trying my best to confront my parents before attempting to leave. I am now far away from them, happy to wake up and look forward to eating meals. I am proud of myself. Story 26. In 2020, I was 16, lost, struggling with depression, fake friends, and had no idea what to do in life. I turned 20 yesterday, and now I have an almost 1-year-old daughter, am married, studying computer science in university, and founded a startup. It has been a busy 4 years, and I am happier than ever. Story 27. I've become completely jaded and bitter. No one has supported or helped me out in almost any meaningful capacity, even though a pandemic is the exact right time to be coming together. 2020 just brought it all to the surface. Story 28. I've lost 30 kilograms. Most of my friends. My faith in humanity. My hopeful naivety. The desire to become a mom someday. Despite this sounding very negative, I feel like I got rid of a lot of things that were blocking me from seeing life and people as they really are. I feel free. Story 29. COVID changed my life. I broke up with my ex-boyfriend, toxic family members, and toxic jobs. Lost confidence and gained new freedom. Learned a lot. Been through a lot. Story 30. For one thing, I have realized that employers do not really care about employees as much as they care about their own interests, and it does not matter how many years one has been an employee, everyone is replaceable. Story 31. Well, there's about 30 more pounds of me now, and I hate most people. Bonus. I kind of hate the United States now, too. It's hard accepting that 50% of the populace are knuckle-dragging schoolyard bullies with a penchant for casual cruelty. Story 32. In 2020, I had a change in my mindset, and I became very happy and vibrant for a while. Now I feel like my emotions have become a lot tamer, and I don't feel quite as strongly about life in general lately. I'm still doing okay, though. Story 33. Yeah, I am engaged to somebody I actually think I am attracted to. That was not the case in 2020. I am still earning my backbone. I actually tried to stand up for myself at work the other day, but I wound up having a panic attack afterward. Baby steps? Story 34. Higher body fat percentage. More pessimistic about life and the future, while cautiously awaiting another unexpected event like the one in 2020. More jaded and easily agitated, partially due to the first two changes. Story 35. I was recovering from psychosis in 2020 after being diagnosed with schizophrenia in 2018. I had a couple of psychotic episodes between 2018 and 2020. Now I'm recovered, have held the same steady job for 3 years, and am largely symptom-free. Story 36. I used to have faith in humanity to do the right thing, but COVID deniers and their opportunistic politicians, the re-election of Donald Trump, and Doug Ford's high ratings in the midst of his corruption and sly divisive politics have convinced me that we are doomed. Story 37. Absolutely. Increased my wage by over 100%. Started my fitness journey and have a bodybuilding competition in March 2025 for all natural participants. Graduated with a short-term certificate in cybersecurity. Got a fully paid car. Moved out and in with my girlfriend. Built my own gaming personal computer. Picked up reading. Started investing and becoming financially literate with money. And much more. Life has been good. The only way to find happiness is to move forward in life with your chest up. I am 20 years old and looking to secure a government job when I am 21, since that is the minimum legal age they accept people. Story 38. Yes. Sadly, not for the better. I'm more anxious now. I stutter sometimes. 1.5 hours is my limit in socializing. After that, I just zone out. I don't have the fight anymore in me. But the good thing is that I've accepted defeat and am just living to survive. Not sure if that's a good thing though.